The Spencer Board of Aldermen regular meeting is taking place 6 p.m. February 10th, and we'll have Alderwoman Sledge to give the invocation at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem. During February, we acknowledge many events and holidays: Black History Month, American Heart Month, Valentine's Day, President's Day, and many more, including Random Act of Kindness Day. In recognition of the walk of peace by the venerable Buddhist monks who passed through Spencer and arrived today in Washington, D.C., I offer this prayer. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Let us pray. Lord, give us wisdom as leaders and guide us as we serve the citizens of our community. May we find peace within ourselves and share it with others to make a difference in our world. Amen.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman Sledge. We'll go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance. We can get everyone to rise at this time for that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. As far as additions and deletions and adoptions of the agenda, is there any additions or deletions that need to take place on the agenda at this time, board?
I move to accept the agenda as printed.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hands. Those opposed? I guess that's unanimous. Okay, at this time, we're going to go into the recognitions. We're going to first of all do a proclamation for Heart Awareness Month 2026. Proclamation, the Office of Mayor Pro Tempore. Whereas the American Heart Association, Rowan County Public Health, and the Rowan Public Library System and the Town of Spencer Library have partnered to make heart health more accessible by transforming libraries into community hubs for education and blood pressure monitoring. And whereas this initiative provides free access to blood pressure kiosks and loaner kits for a home monitoring, empowering individuals with educational materials, tracking logs, and clinic referrals, thereby helping people take control of their health. And whereas nearly half of U.S. adults have high blood pressure, and many are unaware of it. Hypertension, often called the silent killer, has no obvious symptoms and is a leading risk factor for heart disease, which remains the leading cause of death in Rowan County and across the United States. And whereas normal blood pressure is below 120/80, and accurate measurement is essential for diagnosis and prevention. Community blood pressure stations provide kiosks, educational resources in English and Spanish, tracking logs, and QR code linking to instructional videos, along with a loaner program for monitors. And whereas these stations connect individuals to their blood pressure numbers, help confirm or rule out hypertension, and support better health decisions in partnership with healthcare providers. And whereas libraries play a vital role by creating know your numbers, spaces promoting stations through signage and wellness challenges and assisting visitors with accurate measurement, guidance, and device checkout. Now, therefore, I, Rashid Muhammad, Mayor Pro Tempore of the town of Spencer, do hereby proclaim February 2026 as Heart Awareness Month in Rowan County and encourage all residents to take advantage of the resources of these monitors and their blood pressure and prioritize their health. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of Spencer, North Carolina, to be affixed this 10th day of February 2026. Alderwoman, thank you all. Thank you. Alderwoman Moody, are you prepared for your recognition at this time?
Yes,
go ahead.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Taylor, can I just embarrass you and have you come up to the lectern, please? Listen, I love to sing. I wish we were still in high school and you could stand on a desk somewhere while I did this. Did anyone else have to do that? I thought it was fun. It is my pleasure this evening to recognize our Director of Public Works, Mr. Joel Taylor, and the entire Public Works Department. I would like to add only 7 full-time staff, 1 part-time employee, and 2 part-time mechanics. They work hard, but that's not a lot of people to run this community on. This team handles, as we know, our trash, yard waste, our recycling center. They maintain our streets, sidewalks, storm drainage, parks, public buildings, fleet of vehicles and equipment. They support special events, and they are always stepping up to help residents and other departments. We see you doing a lot of mechanical work out back for the police department, which I know they're appreciative of, and so are we. Through a very busy holiday season this year, as in previous years, and challenging winter weather, Public Works also completed the installation of our Historic District Street Sign Toppers, which is a project 3 years in the making for our Historic Preservation Committee. Their seasonal work has truly made our town look like it belongs in a Hallmark movie. On behalf of the Historic Preservation Committee, this board, and the town of Spencer, thank you to our Public Works Department for consistently going above and beyond for our residents and our visitors.
They sometimes get a battery for you if you for detail.
Yes, see?
Yes.
One example.
And jump batteries off too when they're needed in the community.
Remove trees when they see them down. Yep.
Okay, the woman Seacrest, at this time, are you
Yes,
prepared
I'm
for
ready.
your recognition? Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I may, I don't know if we want to maybe hold off on the next one because
Yes, due to
the
the
fire department
circumstances. Yes, sir.
appears to be at a
Can we do
call.
that?
That's fine,
Yes,
sure.
well, we'll use that for the next meeting due
If-
to the circumstances.
Well,
Pray
I
everything-
suspect they'll be back, hopefully,
Okay. Or later on in the meeting.
and maybe at a different point we can take
Yeah,
that up.
maybe
But
or something.
That sounds fair.
Yep.
All right. Is there any other recognitions that need to be done at this time, Board? Okay. Then there are no others at this moment. We'll go ahead and move into public comment. I have one here that's written and printed. Madam Clerk, is there any that were received online? Any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, we'll get ready to prepare for public comment. All persons who wish to speak, of course, signed up. Public comment information, all speakers are limited to 3 minutes of time. So.
They actually timed me on the wall.
Oh, yeah, they wish they didn't. Hi, my name is Leslie Talbot. I live at 308 North Salisbury Avenue. I'm the chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. And yes, wholeheartedly, my thanks to Aaron for adding us to the acknowledgement for Joel, because without him, we'd still be screwing signs up, 1 sign a week until my death. The other thing I'd like to say is we've had a lot of interest in, we have a potential new member that we're hoping to present next month. but I would like to put a call out to our town to say, we still have a vacancy, and we would really appreciate some new ideas and some new and different input if you're interested in preserving Spencer's history and moving forward at the same time, which we can do if we work together. So that's my speech, and I've got only a minute.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Talbot. We appreciate you come up
You
and
can't yield
give
to
your
next
comment.
month.
And
Can't add it on.
at this time, is there anyone else that will wish to come forward and speak for public comment at this time? Okay. Seeing that there are no more speakers, board, I'll call for a motion at this time.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Well,
Ayes have it.
we raise our hands. I'm sorry.
Okay. Public comment is closed. Now on to the consent agenda. Is there any board members that wish to remove any items from this consent agenda for further discussion?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, I move that we accept the consent agenda as approved earlier.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been voted on and properly second. All those in favor? Ayes have it. Now for the approval of the minutes.
If you can move to number 8.
All right, so at this time, we're going to consider adopting the ordinance 26-01, granting a franchise to Duke Energy Carolinas LLC. Mr. Franzese?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and members of the board. We have an item before you tonight that by state law will actually be considered for 2 readings this month and then again next month. This is a franchise agreement for Duke Energy. We currently have an agreement that was adopted 60 years ago in May of 1966 that grants Duke Energy, of course at the time it was granted Duke Power, permission to construct and maintain its lines for transmission of electricity along, over, and under town property. That includes, of course, all the street and sidewalk infrastructure, but other public places as well. Since this is expiring, Duke Energy has drafted a new ordinance for our consideration, proposing the same essentially for another 60 years. So that would take it to 2086, and I will hopefully be retired by then. The city attorneys reviewed this draft ordinance for consistency with state law, and Duke is presenting this kind of in a standard form among all municipalities. It grants permission for them to work on their equipment and lines, on town property, and provides assurances to continue with improvements to their facilities and the grid, as well as provides for how they would make repairs to streets, sidewalks, etc., should that be damaged in the course of them doing their work. State statute, again, mentions that franchises are granted through an ordinance that are considered and passed at 2 regular meetings, so we would do this for a second time in March. We have with us tonight Joe Crapster. He's the Government and Community Relations Manager for Duke Energy in our area, and I'd invite him to share any comments he may have about this with you.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Muhammad and the board. I think Peter has described everything as far as the renewal of the franchise agreement. It was 60 years ago, or at least it will be come May of this year. It would pretty much, Duke would maintain things as hopefully you've seen across the town of Spencer. I would say probably the greatest thing, and it's not just a reliability. I mean, you see projects going on around the county, whether it be here in the town of Spencer or beyond. But that would be Duke's commitment as we go forward. I know there's a lot right here in the Spencer area, whether you go across 85 with the Buck plant, but we just appreciate the partnership with the town of Spencer, and I appreciate your consideration for the renewal of the franchise agreement with the town of Spencer.
Okay, board,
Thank you.
does anyone have any questions at this time for Mr. Krebs?
Do we actually do a reading of this? The actual,
The question is, does the whole ordinance have to be read? I don't think so. It just has to be considered
okay,
in 2 separate meetings.
okay.
Okay, thanks, Peter. Thanks, Jay. Okay, so
Thank
we
you, Mayor
appreciate you,
Pro
Mr.
Tem.
Krebs.
Yeah, thank you.
And I appreciate the way that Duke Energy maintains services. You know, I was fully expecting to lose power of the ice storm and did not.
Yes.
So I thank you for preparation you guys do in advance.
Thank you, Alderman Sledge. I mean, it's been we've been kind of lucky these last 2 or 3 weeks between the ice and the snow,
we have.
but you can be assured Duke Energy will be ready with whatever comes to the northern part of Rowan County and beyond. So just appreciate the support of Duke Energy. Like I said, both here in the town and, you know, with the plant nearby. So thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're gonna move on to consider and adopt in ordinance, budget ordinance 25-11.010, police 2025 Toyota Tacoma. At this time, Ms. Khan, can you come up, and Chief Al, present the request to the board?
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
So before you is a budget ordinance that for the purchase of a Toyota Tacoma for the police department, and where we will get those funds from. And I'll let the police chief, if we
Okay.
talk about that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good
I'm
evening.
a little under the weather, so if you'll bear with me and my voice tonight. As you know, we have a comprehensive vehicle replacement plan. Unfortunately, in this year's budget, we were not able to fund the 2 recommended vehicles that would have been for replacements this year. We know what happens when we don't do that. It kind of rolls everything into future years having excessively high purchases. I was able to negotiate a purchase of a vehicle. It was a 2025 that was still on the lot. We're actually getting it for under state contract price. And we were able to utilize some funds from some of our openings that we have currently where we have lost a few employees. So it made good sense to go ahead and try to make that purchase. And that would help us not have so many vehicles in a single year in the future. So this will be replacing a vehicle that's past its standard replacement time that we had to keep running for an additional years.
Okay, now with that vehicle replacing the vehicle, we're gonna be getting rid of that particular vehicle that we're replacing, correct?
Correct. Well,
Okay.
what we'll do,
Just
we
wanna make
typically
sure,
move
so
them
it's clear.
down, so we'll move one from a full-time status to part-time status, and then
Okay.
we'll sell the part-time vehicle.
Okay.
This is a new vehicle.
It is.
Okay.
It was
Brand new.
it was the last one in the state of North Carolina that was new old stock. So we were new old stock and black, which is what we needed to match the fleet. So it was the last one that we had the opportunity to get.
And does it have a warranty with it?
It does.
That's
It's
an
brand new,
interesting
so
question.
it'll be the same standard warranty. And we're trying out a Toyota. It would not be something we can move to for all of our fleet because they don't make certain options for them that we would need as far as prisoner cages and whatnot. But for some of our supervisors and SROs and code enforcement, we may be able to utilize those. So everybody knows we've had that long time issue with the Dodge Durango. So we're trying to look and see what some other options may be that may have a little more durability for us.
Okay. Board, any other questions? Okay, at this time, Call for a motion.
I move that, we approve the budget ordinance, 2511.010 for the police department to purchase the, 2025 Toyota Tacoma.
Okay, the motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and properly second at this time. All those in favor, show of hands. Unanimous. Unanimous. Okay, so thank you so much, Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and go into the departmental reports. So at this time, Mr. Blunt, thank you so much. You're already up there. Yes, sir.
I heard the manager saying he was trying to get out of here early, so rush.
Interesting.
I was talking about Joe.
Interesting.
In addition to the written report that you have in your package, which I'll certainly be glad to answer your questions on, if Mike will bring up my PowerPoint presentation, I had a few visuals I wanted to give you some updates. And while I can hold them up, it's a little hard for you guys to see them from there, so I went ahead and made your first PowerPoint of the year. Cell tower update. The attorney and I will meet Thursday morning to discuss the details of the contract. Hopefully we'll come up with something that's a little better than what they submitted, and we will send it back to them for their comments. We asked them to give us an idea of how much this would improve the signal strength of cell phones in the community, and they sent me a slide package, and we're going to actually have a presentation from them at some point. But I wanted to go ahead and give you this update, and to put it in simple terms, what you'll see next, think of red as bad and green as good. So that's how simplistic I am on these kind of things. I don't get into radio frequency things. The one on the left is our current coverage map, and you see the red and the orange. We don't have very good coverage in the town of Spencer. The one on the right is what they predict the improvement will be with the new tower. So that's a very simple visual of what they anticipate. We'll try to ask some more detailed questions when they make the presentation to staff. North Carolina Finishing Company, again, I was going to hold up this paper and tell you that, obviously you can't see it from there, but up there we have received, or the applicant, who is our contractor, Samet Construction, has received what's called the letter of eligibility. And what you're seeing up there, it's a little hard to see at this distance, is their flow chart showing the process that they go through to get the brownfield agreements approved. So we're about a third of the way through what they consider about an 18-month process. So probably to get to the end of the process will be something like a year from now. But I just wanted to let you know this is a real milestone moment to get this letter. If you follow that chart, there's a lot of yes/no questions. If you reach that point and they don't give you the letter of eligibility, they kick you out and you don't get to the project. So we're happy to be there. The PCA building closed down, and I told you to be optimistic. I met with the owner last week, and he was very impressive in his efforts to put together a package to sell that building. And that's front page of their sales brochure. That's a second page where it shows the floor plan. This is the one I wanted to show you, though. There's 13.6 acres to the north of the existing plant that they hope to split off and market as a separate plant location. So in addition to getting the PCA building back in operation, you may see a new facility out there serving somebody else. And then to wrap it up, I was putting in a lot of permits into my spreadsheet today, and I did a quick count and realized that here we are, the 10th of February, and for this year we've already done 27 permits of various types. And I look back and we did 6 in 2025, 10 in 2024, 9 in 2023 at this same point of the year. So if this holds up, we're going to have a record year for the number of permits we will be issuing this year of various types. But in this year, what we've already issued is 6 for townhomes out at Hawkins Meadows, so construction's getting ready to start out there. 3 duplexes and 3 single-family homes, in addition to some subdivisions and things of that nature. That adds up to 15 new families moving into new homes in your town in the first 2 months of the year. So think of what that could mean for the rest of the year. And with that, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
I'd like to make a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I love seeing new families coming in, because not only is that going to help our community in a large number of economic ways, but it's also going to help our schools.
Absolutely.
Because we really have room for more students. We've got top-notch schools, and getting those students will assure that we maybe get what we need for the schools.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So at this
What
time,
about- Mr. Blunt, what's the Spencer success story?
I'm sorry.
What's the Spencer success story?
It's basically the brownfield development of the North Carolina Finishing Company property. Peter and I have been asked to star in a movie about our town. We went to a meeting last year and made a presentation about our process that we went through to help redevelop the North Carolina Finishing Company property. Some of their professional staff that were at that meeting were impressed with the story of what we've accomplished in Spencer, and they are actually going to come and record us and take a site visit and do some recordings around the town and put together a video that will be on their website, calling it the Spencer Success Story.
And just so we don't think this is a Hollywood production, it's the New Jersey Institute of Technology. They have consultants that work with the EPA doing this brownfield work, and it's their team at New Jersey Institute of Technology. They're the ones that supported the event at Central Lina that we attended probably about a year ago or so, and so they're putting this film together. It'll probably be more of like an informational, documentary type, piece. So we won't have any stunt doubles or.
I just heard that we're going to have a premiere.
Right. I don't know.
Maybe
We'll
a
see what
red
happens.
carpet.
We could do it out in our new building. Put up a big screen, show it out there.
Movies in the park.
As long as people promise not to throw tomatoes,
No.
they'll be fine.
I noticed too down at PCA plant, he's put up fencing. It looks really nice.
all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Blunt. At this time, we'll have Chief Fowl come up for code enforcement.
Good evening again. I have provided the customary monthly code enforcement report. I'm going to try not to talk a whole lot tonight, so I'll take any questions you may have. We had 26 cases this month for code enforcement. Everything's going well.
That's good. 10 abatements.
All right. We
Yep,
jump
ready
to the
for
next.
go ahead, jump into the police report.
All righty, on the police department report for the month, we had 2,175 activities. We still have one individual that's in field training, and we're processing currently a applicant for one of our openings. He's a lateral from South Carolina, so we're hoping about mid-March he'll be coming aboard with us. I did want to point out very briefly, we had a pretty good fentanyl bust this month. About 30 grams, which is about $6,000 street value.
Wow.
So we'll, and that'll be about $8,200 in drug tax. So if we're able to collect on that, that'll be some funds coming back to our community to help combat these illegal drugs. So obviously, 30 grams is a pretty good bust. That was from your ACE team this month. So I definitely wanted to point that out. That was a pretty good bust. Fentanyl is nothing to mess with. If you know about it, it's about 100 times the strength of morphine. So it only takes a little speck to overdose on it. So, but I can try to answer any questions you may have about the police department report.
We appreciate that, Chief Fowl, and I'm thankful for the lives that have been saved with that fentanyl being recovered off the street. So,
Certainly.
yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Fire department at this time.
Welcome back.
Right. So before you give your report, I believe we're going to backtrack, and there's some recognitions that need to be presented at this time. Due to you all have to disperse for a brief moment, so you want to.
Yeah, I would
If
like
the rest
for
of you all
of
can come up,
Yeah,
that would be great.
those of you who are here. Thank you for all for being here tonight.
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
When we have extreme weather conditions of cold, ice, and snow, like we've had this winter, 2026, it affects all of us. Now, I'm going to be 77 in March, and I've never seen weather like we've had in Spencer in my lifetime. And I've talked to people older than me that said that too, so that's probably pretty accurate. For some, our disabled and senior citizens, it literally cuts off many from the resources and help they need for basic survival. I had several calls from some citizens over the snow end, and I assured them that we would find a way to help out, and our town stepped up during this winter event. Now, one of them, when she called me, she said, "Well, what do you do? You're a senior citizen." I said, "Well, I stay in." But I did assure them that they could contact your departments or the police department if they needed it, and they could get some help. One of the persons that needed help goes to my church, Stacy Wallace. She has no family here, and she needed assistance several times to get in and out of her house for appointments or to come home from where she had been staying. Our fire department and EMS showed up, and she wanted me to recognize them. She called and asked that I do this tonight. Of course, I was planning on it anyway, but I really appreciate her emphasizing it. Thank you, Chief, for getting your men there. And a special shout out to Dakota Anderson. It's Dakota. That's what I thought, okay. Billy Parrish, okay, and Arturo Garcia. Now, Stacy said there may have been some others that helped, but she remembered these three gentlemen, and she said you were so kind and so nice, and you were just a huge help to her. So we show that not only do we have top-notch employees, we are good neighbors. We are the little town with a big heart, and we are blessed with all our staff and employees. And I want to give all of you a round of applause, along with the Public Works and the Police Department. And citizens are greatly appreciative. Yes. And I'm amazed when I talk to people from other towns, and they complain about services in their town. They said, "Do y'all have this problem?" I said, "Oh no." And then I tell them everything extra that we do, and they cannot believe it. And their taxes are a whole lot higher than ours. That's what really. But anyway, just very, very proud of all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager, all folks likewise. So, obviously, I'm not the face that you're most familiar with. Michael Lanning's taking care of some personal business and on leave, so I'm his steed tonight. The monthly report for the Spencer Fire Department, we had roughly 67 fire calls, medical response of 57, totaling about 124 responses from the Spencer Fire Department. Our apparatus, they are on our reserve outside right now. It's been repaired, it's back in service. The 2024 Pierce is out of service presently with some other things in need of repair. The good news is we don't have to send it down the road to Charlotte. They can fix it in-house. So whenever they get done with it, it'll be a great turnaround and be back in service. Internally, we had a posting for a vacant fire engineer position, and fortunately, we're privileged that we've been in a special place that after having so many vacancies, we are, hopefully this week, we will be officially at full staffing this week. Yes, we're great. As Madam Alderman over there spoke a minute ago, that during the colder season that we've had, the day before all of the heavy snowfall and everything fell, half of the heating in the station went out. and we have been without heat in half of the building since then. It is due for repair, and they're supposed to be by the station to look at it, get it fixed this week, and be back up running hopefully by Friday, if not by the first of next week.
Okay.
And I am more than willing and more than happy to oblige any questions that the board has.
Is it the half of the building where everyone sleeps?
Yes, it is.
Of course, yes.
Yes, it is. We're getting by with space heaters for the time being, and thanks to Amazon, we are making do.
Okay.
So, if any other questions?
That's it. Y'all gentlemen stay warm, and thank you all for the service you're providing for this town and surrounding areas.
Thank you.
Mr. Teller. Public Works.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, members of
Good
the
evening,
board.
sir.
Just a note on the fire department heat will be fixed tomorrow. The gas valve finally got here, so with all the weather and shipping and.
That's what was wrong with my house too.
So it's a gas valve.
Gas valve.
Yeah, the lady called me several hours ago and said we have a technician on the way tomorrow to fix the heat, so it will be taken care of.
Thank you.
No
Now
problem.
that it's 70 degrees, right?
Yeah, now that it's
Yeah.
70 degrees,
Now
we don't
that
need
it's
the
70,
heat.
right?
Sorry, fellas. I don't make the rules. For sure. So our regular services are back on schedule this week after being scrambled for the last two. Garbage is running on schedule. So we have scheduled the spring mulch giveaway. We're going to do it on March the 21st. We normally do it the first weekend of April, but that is Easter this year. So we're going to back it up and do it a little earlier. So it'll be on March 21st. As Steve was saying a little bit ago, with the amount of permits he's issued and that kind of stuff, our sanitation numbers were up by about 34 tons this year, which amounts to about 3 truckloads. If you put it in terms, we usually carry about 10 tons a truck. So I foresee with the permits that he's issuing and things that are going on, it's going to continue to do this. It's going to increase this amount or more. We kind of got out of the stagnant from the pandemic, and then we came down. Now we're headed back up, and I think that's where it's going to stay for the next foreseeable future, as long as building keeps up. You know, when that happens. So, we did spend a great deal of time this month playing in the white stuff. So it's been a chore with one right after the other. So, but thank y'all for y'all's kind words and support for my guys and what they do, because it's nerve wracking at some point. We did get the crepe myrtles trimmed downtown, and we're starting to clean the dead stuff out of the side on the Transportation Museum side. We got one area done today. As traffic allows, we're going to be able to do a little bit. So we'll get that taken care of this spring. And an update from the CCAP. Yeah, the comedy of errors here. So we ordered the live steaks. I think I reported that we were going to order them. So we ordered them right before the snowstorm. So they were supposed to be in on Friday, and then I would water them the first of the week, and then we would plant them on Wednesday. They just showed up less than an hour ago. So we're going to water them for the next 2 days, and probably I'm going to try to see if the engineers are available. We're going to try to get that planted on Friday, and then get this taken care of and be done. But we do have the live steaks. They're here now. We'll just have to get them kind of pet back up a little bit before we plant them, and then we'll get them in the ground. So I'll be happy to take any questions if you have any.
Well,
all right.
Nothing being said. Thank you, Mr. Teller. We appreciate you. Okay, finance. Ms. Heather. Ken. I'm sorry.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
So I gave you my reports, finance reports, and I had to update them today. Finally got our bank reconciliation done, so the new reports look better than the other ones. I made notes on each fund as far as on the old ones of what needed to be done. For example, some deposits needed to be entered into the ledger, so our general fund is is updated now. There are some issues with conversion on the on Fund 32, the Stormwater Grant Fund. It should be page 5 if you're looking through. So if you'll notice, under the expenditure side, it says streets and then stormwater. In prior years, we have funded this grant has been housed in the general fund, and when we converted, we moved that over to a different fund so that we could keep all expenses and revenues together for that. And in the conversion, the Black Mountain Software entered in the budget under the stormwater line, and we don't use that line, we use the streets line. So that $376,591 is not supposed to be there. That is actually from FY25. So that does not need to be there. We are checking on that and getting that corrected. So that's one of the reasons why that has a large, the difference there, the variance there. I'm also working with Black Mountain and Anna Etheridge at the League for Fund 48. Fund 48 is our miscellaneous grants. Those are grants that are, or projects that are under $100,000. And they were housed in the general fund. Again, we're moving those to a separate fund so it's easier to track by project and not, so I don't have to pull things out and sort them. I can run a report and say this is the project of the information that I want, and it's there in that report. So once we get that corrected, I will let you guys know and show you how that is. Those were my two major things for my finance reports. Do you have any questions on those?
Heather, the amount that is not supposed to be there in the stormwater.
Yes.
Backing that 376 out, that's going to affect your total expense line, correct?
It is going to affect my total expense line. But the thing about, I don't know how to explain it. When we first got that grant, it's not necessarily that we had a budgeted line item for that, because the town would use the funds and then we would get reimbursed from it. And that line, it just shouldn't be there at all. So it will be taken out of the budget line and the variance line.
And
so
it can also come out of the revenue line.
It would not come out of the revenue line. Yes, it will, because it's up there under that one. Yes, it'll come out of both lines. I'm sorry, but I have one line highlighted, not the other. Sorry. So on my actual report, you'll notice that we have submitted our audit. The LGC has reviewed our audit and come back with 2 items. The first item that come back was our fund balance available as an expenditure to a percentage of expenditures. If you'll remember last year, we had a financial performance indicator, and we had to send them a statement back as to why it was that way. And we did that because last year it was at 27.92%, and this year it is at 24.23%. And in that, I found in our report, I can basically tell you that our fund balance has been going down. We've been using that to balance our budget, and that's one of the indicators that we need to. One of the reasons why that is there. We also had some expenditures where we were waiting on reimbursements from the Cardiff grant, the $450,000 there, which that plays a part in that. So whenever if the LGC comes back and asks us to respond back to that, we'll cover that then. The second item that come up on our audit is that the bond for the finance officer, kind of explain that there, and Peter sent out an email to explain a little bit of that as well. Mm-hmm. So it will be noted in the report, but it won't be in our actual audit. So it's just noted that was there. The statutory I don't remember the word they use, non-compliance. And I want to let you know that all W-2s and 1099s were sent out on time. And then our sales and use tax update is there, that we're still sitting at about 3.4% there as growth. Do you have any questions?
Any questions for it?
If you're looking through your reports that I've printed and I've sent you an email as well, if you're looking through there and you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you
Ms.
so much.
Cass.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. At this time, active living. Madam Clerk, Ms. Anna Ward.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and board members. So this month we ended up, because of the poor weather, not having a quorum for the Parks and Rec Advisory Board meeting. So we gave them a brief update, and then the next meeting will be on March 4th. There is an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, for the 8th Street Ballpark that is being worked on. And the grant projects are progressing, which Joe will come up and elaborate on in a moment. And then some recent events, the Libraries with Heart, that kicked off last Friday, and Mayor Pro Tem Mohammed, as well as Alderwomen Pat and Sledge and Pam Stanley, were all there. And it was a really good kickoff. And then yesterday was Monday. Yesterday, we received the machine for the library, so that is now set up as well. And there was Librarian McCraw had an event yesterday for Black History Month that was very well attended. I arrived to help set up the machine as everybody was leaving. Yes, and Joe, I guess if you want to give your updates, and then we'll take questions.
And I wanted to briefly mention to the board a quick update on the project. I think at the last board meeting I mentioned that we are in the due diligence phase on our trail grant, our Blue Way grant. We have received comments from U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and they've identified that there are no adverse impacts from our project. We've received comments from the State Historic Preservation Office, and they have indicated that there are no impacts on cultural resources. We did have a suggestion from the Army Corps of Engineers to seek a wetland delineation for some areas that are along Grants Creek that will be part of the permitting process through the floodplain administrator. We got a determination from NC Parks that we can pay for those services for the wetland delineation from the grant budget, and so that will be at no cost to the taxpayers, the town residents, town taxpayers. So we proceeded with that. We issued a purchase order to an environmental engineer who will document the wetlands for us. So all of those things are proceeding. I wanted to also provide and introduce something to the board tonight that relates to Town Park. When we were doing the initial value in engineering on Town Park, there were a couple things we left out. One of those was we had planned to have some sculptural elements in the park and some artwork. And we were not able to do that within the budget that we ended up with. And so they were not included in the plan. A few weeks ago, Dr. Tommy Carlton approached me, gave me a call, and said, I'm really interested in doing something to sort of augment the water feature that his family had contributed funds to sponsor. And he didn't name give me a price or anything like that. He just said, think about it, and I'm interested in something that would perhaps be interesting to children, that might be interactive, some sort of a small play structure or something. I don't have any real ideas. You think about it and let me know what you think. And so I've spent some time thinking about that, and I've been looking in catalogs for various things that might fit in. Really couldn't find anything. A few days ago, I reached out to a friend of mine, a woman by the name of Colleen McDaniel, who is a horticulturist and designer and a general contractor, and she does children's playgrounds and has done the one that is St. John's Lutheran Church, the Child Development Center that's over there. So she has experience with that. She also has a long resume of other projects that she has done in Charlotte and Rock Hill and other places around. And she mentioned that she had an opportunity. She was actually buying a truck in High Point and said, I can meet you in Spencer on Saturday. And so we met together and looked at the site, and she has given me several ideas. Fast forwarding just a bit, there is a Robertson Family Foundation grant cycle where applications are due on February 20th. I followed up with my conversation with Dr. Carlton, and today he confirmed that he is willing to give $10,000 toward this project. I also followed up with Jason Walser of the Robertson Foundation and asked if they would be willing to consider a type of matching grant for a children's interactive playground. He said, of course. And so what I would like to make you aware of and perhaps receive some level of consensus from you is a permission for me to apply for this grant on February 20th. At this moment, I'm looking at a budget of a project that would be about $25,000, $10,000 of it coming from Dr. Carlton and his wife Mimi, and then perhaps a grant from the Robertson Foundation. There is no design for this. We've been looking at pictures, looking at ideas. We would do a public input session. We would address things like accessibility for people of various abilities. We would look at potentially a pollinator garden, some sort of interactive play, decorative features, maybe picnic. We don't know. This is moving so quickly that we don't have the plan at this point. But what I'm trying to spit out is that this process will involve public input. It will involve the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. It will involve the Board of Aldermen. So if this is something that you're willing to give the staff some leeway, a little permission, a little grace, we could pursue this and perhaps add something to the park that would really improve it, I think. So I'd be happy to answer any questions about it.
Do we need a formal vote on that?
I think we do, yeah.
I say at this time.
Yeah. Do you want to make the motion, Aaron, or do you want me to do it?
You go right ahead.
I move to authorize our special projects manager the ability to pursue grants for an enhancement to our park centered toward childhood activities. Y'all write that down.
Motion's been made by Alderwoman Alderman Sledge, and second by Alderwoman Moody. So at this time, those that are in favor, unanimous again.
I'm always in favor.
Thank you, Joe.
Appreciate your support. And again, this is a testament to the generosity of this community and people that are interested in helping Spencer succeed. And this is something that I think we'll be really proud of if we can put it all together. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Go, Joe.
Should make a t-shirt that says that.
Town Manager's Report, Mr. Franzese.
Thank you very much, Mayor Pro Tem and members of the board. So two things I want to mention tonight. The first is that we are preparing to launch our second year of our community engagement opportunities, our Talk of the Town and neighborhood walks that we started last year, and we alternate months with them in the spring and the fall, and roughly between February and November with a break in the summer. Our plan is to host our next Talk of the Town event a week from tonight. That will be February 17th and focus on police and code enforcement. And then in March would be our first neighborhood walk of the year, and we've been working with our friends at the North Carolina Transportation Museum to host it there actually and do a historic walk around the Spencer Shops historic site. So those are our initial plans, and we're going to get our publicity going around that in the next day. But we wanted to announce that tonight. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, and we talked a little bit tonight about all the efforts in the last month or so from our staff, and you know it has been a wild 3+ weeks, but because we had of course 2 weather events, but before that we had an event that was kind of like a weather event in that it was coming and you really couldn't do a whole lot about it other than be ready and deal with it as best you can. And our team stepped up to the plate to welcome the Walk for Peace participants that were here in January, in a way that provided safety to them as they spent time here and interacted with people at the North Carolina Transportation Museum. Certainly appreciate, it was just the beginning of what would be several weeks of many extra hours, long hours. And so that's certainly not unnoticed and certainly appreciated. And what really was special about it was all the teamwork among all the various organizations. It really was a multi-agency effort, within the county that started many days in advance. A lot of coordination and a lot of effort went into trying to get this thing as well coordinated as we could, even though there were a lot of factors that were hard to pinpoint or control. We just had to be ready. And certainly thank our neighbors at the North Carolina Transportation Museum for opening their site on a day that would have been a typical day of operations. It kind of took over the site. It took over the town. We know it was a lot, but we also hope it was meaningful for folks for this sort of opportunity. And but again, certainly want to thank our staff for the role they played in making it possible.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. Board, do you have any questions at this time for Mr. Reed? Thank you, sir. All right, at this time, we're going to go into requests and comments by the board. So, start with you, Alderwoman Moody.
Thank you. Well, once again, I just want to wish everyone a very happy Black History Month. We are a unique and special community here, and I always love opportunities to celebrate our diversity because everyone brings so much to the table in Spencer. I also just wanted to point out that early voting is now open in Rowan County, and we will hope that everyone who is able will cast their votes by Election Day, which is March 3rd, for our primary elections. And other than that, I just hope everyone has a good evening, is doing well, and thanks so much to all the efforts from everyone involved in everything. 2026 has been very exciting so far.
Thank you, Alderwoman Moody. Alderwoman Stanley.
Okay. I want to take this moment just to thank everyone who was involved in the tumultuous winter that we had. I want to thank those who were non-essential, who went above and beyond to make sure that we were taken care of, like mail carriers. I think that's what I am. All those non-essential people, I want to thank them. I want to say happy Black History Month, and to echo Alderwoman Moody, we are very diverse, and we do come together to make such an effective community that I am so proud to be of. But happy Valentine's Day to you. In the near future, continue to share warmth as well as love.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Alderwoman Slade.
Oh, it's my turn. I too appreciate all the work that, and the flexibility of our staff and our, people of Spencer with the welcoming of the monks for the Walk of Peace. I have continued to follow them as they go along their way, looking at their live stream. So I've spent a lot of time with my lover, as he calls it, which is my cell phone. And I don't always turn it off an hour before I go to bed, and I don't always wait an hour after I get up to turn it back on, because that's when they're doing things. But I was proud of the way that it was done here, and I have thanked the Transportation Museum. I've had an opportunity to see some of those folks, and it was indeed, an act of selflessness that they opened their facility to this group. I believe, I might be mistaken, but I believe the monks actually crossed the walking bridge down at the Yadkin River, because they went they went up through, instead of walking straight up by the park that is over on the Davidson County side. They went behind the park and came out on Sowers, I think it's Sowers Road, near the campground, because there was somebody who was disappointed they didn't see them come by the park area. So I think they actually walked the walking bridge, the Wilcox Bridge. I wanted to say thank you too for all those people who came out on Friday. First of all, to the library, the library event. That heart health is really important, something we all need to be aware of. And then secondly, to those who came for the grand opening and ribbon cutting at the Mexicasa Latin Market. And if you haven't had a chance to go there, they have some really interesting things. They have some things you won't find in other markets in this area. And they have the biggest selection of spices I think I've seen anywhere.
Yeah.
So, take a look at what they have. I have purchased some of their hot food there as well, and it's been good. It's been delicious.
Great.
So take a look at that market. It's wonderful to have them there. And tomorrow I will be at the Central Lina for council for their first meeting of the year, where we will caucus by county to talk about what we feel like we need to do in each area. And then there's something else. What else am I doing? I can't remember. I've got stuff on my calendar. But anyway, but thank you all for the opportunity to be a representative for the town of Spencer, where I'm able to participate. Historic preservation. I attended the historic preservation meeting. So I'm trying to take my assignments to heart and be there.
Thank you.
Oh, and Table 10. Table 10 was excellent last night. If you didn't have a chance to do that, put it on your calendar for the second Monday of each month down at Fleming Street. That's all.
Thank you, Alderwoman Slade. Alderwoman Seacrest.
Okay. I just wanted to mention that I'm very proud of the diversity in our town, and I'm thrilled that the library is working with Essie Fox School in Black History Month. That's something that I tried to do when I was teaching at North Middle, and we worked through all kinds of things, and I made sure my students remembered that Black History Month was not just for Black students, it was for all students. It's an important part of our history. So I'm real pleased about that. And I was glad to see that Table 10, prepared a supper for that. And I'm really proud to see Miss Annie Bates here tonight, because we have living Black history right here in Spencer. Annie and I go back, Lord, how many years, Annie? 50? She runs circles around me. But I had the pleasure of teaching all of her children, most of her grandchildren, and I'm telling you one thing, I have never met a Bates that I didn't love. And I'll never forget one time I called Miss Annie for a parent conference to come over because one of her children or grandchildren was acting up just a little bit, just trying to entertain the class, and quite frankly, he was entertaining. And not only did Annie come, the whole family came. Boy, and I never had a problem with that young man after that, and he says that was a turning point in his life, and he is now very successful, as are all the Bates. But the Bates are a beloved family in this community, and I am so glad that you are still here in Spencer. Thank you.
That deserves it.
And let's give her a round of applause. And you will see her at the polls, because she is one of our judges. And she's been there ever since I started voting, I guess. So, it's a long time.
Year or two.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said,
I'm good.
okay. All right, so you pretty much summed it up. You know, yes, the diversity is great. You know, it is Black History Month, and we do have Black history present in the room. Absolutely. And I'm going to say again, thank you for all the hard work and dedication of Public Works, because I was out in the snow a little bit myself, and I seen Mr. Taylor on a Sunday, some of his staff, and I was like, hey, y'all all right? Y'all need something to eat? Y'all good? So we appreciate all the hard work and dedication and the updates as well, Mr. Francis, in reference to the work that's being done, because, you know, I was thinking, okay, well, I might have to wait until Monday to get out here, but some of the roads were clear. We were able to move around, you know, safely. But I also want to say I appreciate all the hard work and dedication of all the staff of the town and the residents that are present here and those that are watching. One thing I do want to say is that, you know, right here in this town of Spencer and around Rowan County, make sure that you secure your belongings as far as locking your car doors in the evenings, locking your house doors as well, because I understand, you know, there are some people that are not too nice, but I just wanted to make sure I reiterate that the importance of making sure that you secure your belongings and valuables. And with that being said, I thoroughly enjoyed the heart, you know, awareness at the library this past week, and you know, it's amazing that we're gonna have, you know, all these stations, you know, around the Rowan County area, but especially right here in our very own Spencer Library. So, you know, health is wealth, and it's very important that we try to put a damper on the silent killer, you know, with this, you know, heart health and heart health awareness, because it's very important. And with that being said, you know, again, I'm excited about the new Mexicasa market that we have right here in the plaza. Hope that they thrive and do well here. And hopefully on February 17th, we have some residents present for the talk of the town and people get involved. We'd love to see more residents here present at the meetings and looking online. And if you do have concerns and you're not available to be present at the meeting, you can always send emails and we will respond accordingly to those. And with that being said, is there a need for us to go into executive session this evening? Seeing none, we call for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and properly second. Is there a vote of yes? Ayes have it. Looks unanimous. This meeting has been adjourned.